I want to bring in Lanny Davis now to the conversation, Michael Cohen's attorney. So, Lanny, thank you very much. Our Kristen Holmes has been reporting their surprise from Donald Trump that he did not expect this would happen now. Were you similarly surprised?
Not surprised by the fact of the indictment, but by the timing. I was not aware. They kept it very close to the vest, as they're required to do. But I was not aware that it was going to happen today, no.
All right, which, is just important, as much information as we can get here. So then, Lanny, I maybe know the answer to this, given what you just said, but do you know anything about what the charges will be in the actual indictment?
So I don't know the actual substance of the indictment. I can tell you what I believe is in the indictment, and I would also warn all the pundits and everyone speculating, including those who are on your panel, that there are lots of facts, lots of documents, lots of evidence of multiple crimes. And before anyone guesses the strength or the weakness of this case, wait to see and read the indictment. I'm just predicting there will be a lot of people surprised at the level of evidence, at the detail of evidence, based on my experience in watching this group of prosecutors develop this case. And I would also remind Mr. Trump's lawyers that Mr. Cohen and myself regard Mr. Trump innocent until proven guilty. He's entitled to the protection of the very Constitution that he was ready to repudiate, and he's innocent until proven guilty. So let's at least start with that note, Erin.
So just to be clear, though, you're saying you think, from what you understand, your exposure to the grand jury, your client, Michael Cohen, obviously central to this, testifying in front of that grand jury, that you believe that there is going to be an indictment for multiple crimes because of the evidence that you're aware of.
One correction, I was not in the grand jury room. I was
you were next door.
Sitting next door and consulting with Michael every so often. But yes, I have no doubt, after months and months and months of being exposed to this case and Mr. Cohen being questioned about the case and observing this group of professional, meticulous, careful, very discreet prosecutors, that this is about facts, documents, text messages, other witnesses, not just Mr. Cohen. It's a very strong factual case. I heard Mr. Honig speculating about whether the law is applicable, and it's a good question whether federal law being violated it applies to a New York state law.
Yes.
I can assure Mr. Honig that there are a lot of lawyers who has researched that question, and we'll leave it to the New York DA to say they have laws that were violated based on these facts that I am aware of.
I want to ask you about something Ryan Goodman said. I don't know if you heard it a moment ago, but his view was that if you're going to go ahead and do this indictment, that his expectation would be that they would try to charge for a felony, not just a misdemeanor. Do you agree with that, Lanny?
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. There are felony violations if the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt is presented to a jury. I think this is a much stronger case than people recognize. Attacking Michael Cohen, which is Donald Trump's way of deflecting and accusing and personalizing. He's going to be faced in American public opinion, right, left, Trump or not, are going to be faced with a lot of evidence that will surprise them, a lot of witnesses, a lot of documents. It's not just about one person's testimony. And I think everyone who is out there talking about this being a political case or a witch hunt are going to be sorry when they actually read the substance of what these prosecutors have developed in several criminal charges.
All right. And of course, as I have to keep emphasizing, right, uncharted territory, we don't know what's in the indictment yet. Lanny, what is your sense of what happens from here in these uncharted waters in terms of timing, right? You get it. And I will just say, by the way, I want everyone to know what you're seeing on your screen. Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, just departing the Manhattan courthouse downtown, so you can see that happening. We hadn't known where he was, so we couldn't tell you that he left, but obviously just getting into that SUV, as you could see there, into that Chevy. Lenny, let me just ask you, though, do you have any sense as to the timing? What happens here? Right now, we're in the very first step, which is our reporting is early next week. Donald Trump will surrender, right? We'll have the arrest, right? And then we move from there. How does the timing go from there as far as you understand it?
Well, the speedy trial process will occur, but Mr. Trump is entitled to a strong defense. I am familiar with his defense attorney. We've worked together in his past. He's a very good attorney. And as I reminded your viewers, I hope not without surprising anyone, that Donald Trump is presumed innocent. And while he is politicizing by calling it a witch hunt and all of the things that Trump does to deflect, I would ask everybody watching tonight, keep your minds open to the actual evidence. Documents speak for themselves. Witnesses that are more than one witness speak, and then the juries will have to decide whether they're credible. But Aaron, the most important thing I would urge all of your panelists is to at least know what they don't know and wait for the evidence
Right.
that we'll see in the indictment and then, of course, in the trial that I believe will be relatively soon.
And Lanny, I mean, in a sense, right now you're not being emotional about it. Obviously, our client Michael Cohen is less judicious with his words, right? He's referred to Trump's evil deeds. Do you think that he should not do that? That's gone too far?
Well, this is the expression Michael Cohen used with me when he asked me to help him. And I said, tell me what you did for the last 10 years. How can I possibly defend that when you worked for Mr. Trump and all the things that I believe you did? And he used the expression, I cannot defend the evil deeds I did for Donald Trump. So on July 2nd, 2018, he became a new Michael Cohen. He decided to speak truth to power and take the consequences. He went to prison for the very same crimes that the Southern District of New York federal prosecutors described as a threat to our democracy. It's not just a hush money sex crime. It is what the Southern District prosecutors under Donald Trump said. He directed Michael Cohen to do these crimes. Those were the dirty deeds. He paid the hush money on behalf of Mr. Trump for Mr. Trump's benefit. But I still want to remind everyone, Mr. Trump deserves his day in court. He can demonize the opposition, but I am saying let's wait for the evidence and give him the presumption of innocence that the Constitution provides.
Right, right. And of course, to remind our viewers, hush money payments themselves are not what would be illegal here. It would be how they were accounted for and how they were handled. So while the sex part may seem salacious, it's not at the center.
Aaron, it is about motivation, and the jury will have to decide that Mr. Trump had no political motivation about the harm that might occur to his political chances if the Stormy Daniels alleged affair came out, and that is the issue before the jury, and I trust the jury system.